All right. Welcome back to the post show, Dudes Like Us.
.us.
.us. And we got to the bourbon a little late last episode. And we're going to open up. Sean's going to talk about what we're drinking.
Yeah, actually, you know what? While I'm doing this, Mr. Producer, Broken Saddle, please. Broken Saddle bourbon whiskey, if you could pop it up on the screen somewhere on there. Because I don't know. We went to, we were talking about in the first half, the first half, how we went down to College Station to go visit our kids in college for a day, basically, and come right back. But we hit the liquor stores down there. We noticed, God, we went to Specs and was like, man, this place has a lot more bourbon. We're not sure if it's regionally influenced or if it's just Specs in general. But nonetheless, we went into Specs and we picked out a bunch of bourbons. We're like, man. So we came back with three technically, but two of the three were new. We got Early Times, the 100 proof, which is it's a solid stock bourbon that's got a great taste and will last for a long time. Early Times. Broken Saddle we have not had, so it's new to us, and it's not bad. We tasted the first half. We had 1835, and it's a whiskey, and we all agreed that it was kind of a mixer style bourbon because it was just kind of got that really strong tobacco. Some people enjoy it. It's not really for my taste buds. But this has kind of the opposite, you know. It's kind of like the first one kind of bit on the lower side, and this one kind of comes from the top. It's got some sort of fruit that I can't detect on what it is. It's got a very unique taste, and as soon as we could pull up some verbiage on it,
I don't taste any fruit in this one.
There's some odd
spice,
flavor in there.
some sort of mince, something going on.
I thought I tasted some cinnamon maybe, but no fruit. But it's not a bad finish though.
Well, go back to the other page, please.
Not a bad
All
finish.
right, so what we are drinking? Oh, that's just talking about bourbon. That's not talking necessarily about it's Broken Saddle. Is there Broken Saddle?
Yeah,
there's not a lot of info out there on this one. That's Broken Barrel.
Yeah, it seems kind of obscure here.
Yeah, there's not a lot of info. I'm not finding much on it at all.
To me, it kind of reminds me of wanting to smoke a cigar. It's got a very it's got a high. It's powerful. Tastes kind
It's
of
100
high.
proof, so it's 50%.
Yeah, you could definitely taste the heat coming in, but it rolls off real easy, and it's got a hard wheat taste to it.
Wheat?
It is
green taste to
authentic.
it.
It's authentic though, man. I mean, it's just distilled, aged, and bottled in Bardstown, Kentucky. So I mean,
Yeah, Bardstown. That's one of the places you want to hit when you go on that Kentucky bourbon trail.
it seems to be an authentic bourbon. We just can't seem to find much about it. So
Yeah.
interesting.
Not bad. I like it better than what we had previous.
Yes, agreed. Agreed.
Not my favorite, but it's a good one.
Yeah,
Pleased.
yeah.
Paul picked a good one for a change.
I know. I've had a bad streak.
Yeah, your coconut one,
Yeah.
your Backstreet Boys one.
I'm realizing now that $7.99 and down don't produce the best bourbons.
Yeah, it's usually just colored vodka.
What does that mean?
with
$7.99 and down.
$8 bottle of bourbon.
Oh, price wise, okay.
No, I don't go that cheap. I try, I mean, we've been trying to find bourbons that fall between what, 20 and 50.
Right.
Or really less than that, 20 and like 40. I mean, we try to find, right? I mean, and then eventually we want to go to some of the nicer stuff, right?
We
We
just
have
want a broad.
We have aspirations of getting like the Whistle Pig 15 or something like that.
Yeah,
but
seriously.
but frankly, it's Jeff is holding us back.
me.
Yeah, it's absolutely you.
No,
I mean,
no. What's holding us back is,
it's fucking Jeff. He needs to fucking empty the cabinet out. We cannot fill the cabinet out. We got we got bottles of booze just coming out, falling all over the ground over there. We can't even stuff them in the place anymore.
Yep. Maybe I'll work
relocate all those on the right books, Legos.
Legos.
We get rid of that shit.
yeah, we need more room. There's no question.
Yeah, I'll make it two more
and
shelves.
And as cool as I think the bulldozer and the Corvette is, or Lamborghini, or whatever
Well,
that
they have
is.
sentimental value to me.
Well, I'm not saying discard them. I'm
You
just
just
saying
said let's throw them out.
No, well, did
Yeah.
I?
Yes.
burn
Well, I
'em.
meant throw them out of the cabinet. You don't have to literally throw them out. Just
Yeah,
remove
my
them.
my plan is to relocate them,
Yeah.
and then I'll make 2 more wood shelves because I don't like you said the glass shelves.
Ooh, we could make some shelves and put them in the boys' room, and we could load them in on that shelf.
Yeah. Well, that's true because I'll move them into Steven's room.
Wow.
I got plenty of room in there. Anyway, I'll
But,
make.
Shelves
but
are
I
easy.
my point is, I think we'll get into the higher end bourbons when bourbon suppliers realize the power and reach of our podcast, and they start realizing, okay,
Right.
you
We
know,
need to give them free bottles.
No, we don't need free
Yeah.
bottles. We just need
No,
a
we
place to
need
fucking put them.
we need free bottles of very very pricey bourbon,
No,
Yes.
I
And
wouldn't even
then-
know what to do.
and
with
then
that.
we'll know.
I bet if we were to dive into a $1,500 bottle of bourbon, it'd be like Wagyu steak. It'd be like way off the charts,
Dude.
completely uncharted territory.
I'm talking $90 bourbon. What are you talking about? $1,500 bourbon.
Oh,
Well, they had that $20,000
Oh,
Louis the 15th.
Exactly. I don't.
If you're gonna ask
That's
for
old
something,
shit.
Paul,
We don't
what
want
the
old
hell?
shit. We want current day.
We don't want old shit.
I'll say the most I will spend. I shouldn't say that because that's not true. But
What
I
is
mean,
the most you've spent?
Well, I mean, right now it's around that for the
Noah's Mill.
Noah's Mill is probably like 50 something bucks.
That's what. Yeah, that's about how much I spent on the.
Yeah, that's
rare breed.
basically the high
I
end
don't
of what
really
we've been
want
talking
to
about.
spend more
right?
than that. I really don't.
There's a ton of bourbons out there
Yeah.
at that price or lower. A ton. But
Yeah.
the
Right.
thing is, if you want one of those unicorns, you're going to have to spend some money for it.
Hey,
Unless you
that-
get lucky and
that-
find it at
That secret hidden underground railroad unicorn was sitting on that whiskey we drank last week, that TX. The TX whiskey.
Oh,
that
yeah.
was
That was good.
It was
that's a
a-
good whiskey.
very dessert like I mean when I say dessert praline tasting thing, I'm not saying it was sweet. I'm not
Right.
saying it's a liqueur. I'm not saying pour this over your freaking vanilla ice cream scoop.
Oh, that
I'm
sounds
just
wonderful,
saying-
though.
It does.
Although it would be good.
That sounds wonderful. I've never thought about doing that. Pouring bourbon over some ice cream. My
Oh,
wife
yeah.
would. My wife
Yeah.
would love that. Really? Now you're having bourbon with your
All right,
ice cream?
So I hear Dick Clark in the background saying, "Ding!" Things alcoholic would say.
Exactly. That's
Let's
my
pour
point.
the bourbon over the ice cream.
You're looking for every excuse to put bourbon on everything.
Cereal? Really?
Yeah, well, anyway, moving on. Anyway, I wanted to share something with you guys. So I watched a movie called Yesterday, and I think you guys had mentioned that you've seen it.
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
I thought it was a very interesting movie. So the premise is that this guy, there's some accident, there's some weird event that happens in the world, and this guy, wakes up from like a, getting hurt or something, and he figures out that he's the only dude on the planet that knows who the Beatles are.
Right. And he remembers every single song.
Well, that's part of the
Yeah.
funny. That's part of the funny bit of this whole thing is he's trying desperately to like remember the words because there's no way to look it up, right?
I think that's part of the reason why he only chose the Beatles was because that was the only band they forgot. I think they had all the rest of the bands out there, like the Hootie and the Blowfish, blah blah blah.
Molly Hatchet.
Yeah, I guess all the bands are out there, but
Yeah, Molly Hatchet was really featured heavily in that movie.
Scritty Politti.
No. Anyway, so I mean, I thought that the movie itself was a
Yes.
tribute to the Beatles, right? And they talked about how how the world was just enamored with learning who the Beatles were for them the first time, right? I thought it was a great movie. And I was going to ask you guys, like, did you grow up listening to the Beatles?
No.
Okay, so there's a hard no here. What about you, Sean? No Beatles? So are we the
I'm not-
generation that's like out of the Beatles?
man, I'm not saying I don't like them because I think their music is good. I mean, I don't own any Beatles albums. I've never had a desire. I don't go to my Amazon music file and say, "Hey, I want to listen to the Beatles." I don't do that.
Yeah, but so you spent time in your childhood in
But I
Germany,
have
and they
sang
were
them.
huge.
Yesterday, all
There's
those
a couple
songs are
good
great.
songs.
Hey Jude. I mean, all those songs.
Right.
There are some really fantastic songs that the Beatles put out, and you've listened to them because you hear them on the radio.
But
there's
hold on,
interesting-
that's not what I'm asking. So when you, as a child, growing up in Germany, that was like it wasn't. You didn't.
All right, so there are a couple different eras that you need to recognize. So the Beatles came out with a ton of songs, but you got to imagine, the lead singer
John Lennon.
No,
Paul McCartney.
Paul McCartney had his
Ah.
own team out there, Wings. You know, Wings made as much, if not more, than the Beatles.
I listen to more Wings than the Beatles.
Did you know that?
No, yeah, no, I
Paul
knew that.
McCartney with Wings, their band made more than the Beatles did at the time.
You mean number of songs?
More money, they were more popular. I mean,
I think
at
because
the time,
he was a Beatle.
because he was a Beatle. So it was just kind of a continuation.
Just
Okay.
concerts and shit.
Oh yeah, I mean it's good because Paul McCartney wrote a bunch of the songs, so he could sing a lot of the Beatles songs
Right.
legally.
Right. No,
You
no.
know,
I get it.
but they had like Man
but my-
on the Run.
But my point is, you didn't listen as a kid. You didn't listen to the Beatles growing up.
Negative.
Because I had 5 or 6 cassettes and I abused them.
Yeah,
The
8
whole
tracks.
family did. I mean, like we were, we would play it
think
in the
that-
van.
I think that has to do with your parents too. I mean,
No, my parents weren't really music people.
well, where did you get the cassette tapes?
When I lived in Indonesia.
So they were
High
peddling
Kong.
them.
Oh
on the
yeah,
side
all of it was pirated stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean that's the way it was over there.
Did they sell like the chicle gum next to it?
No, you they had like
Chiclet? That's better.
Chicle.
so
Chicle.
they had music stores and you would go in there and they had a long
Was it
table.
really pirated?
Oh, all of it. All
Oh.
of it. It's amazing. I still have the cassettes. You guys need to see them someday. But they have a long table in the middle of this little tiny, no, probably not even
You
as
can
big as this
basically
room.
print your own money if you have the right equipment out there.
Yeah,
If you're
yeah.
selling
So,
all this shit.
so it's about as big as this room, right? Where
It's
they
called
had
counterfeit money.
all these cassettes, like all these bands, and they in the middle you had little cassette players, and you could sit down.
That's how we're paying for this COVID stuff. Is that?
Yeah.
You grabbed a whole stack
Biden's
of
just
cassettes.
printing money.
You grabbed a whole stack of cassettes, and you sat down, and you popped them in the machine, and you
Just recorded.
no, you listen. We're buying them.
Oh.
So you just listened, and whatever you liked, you took up, you bought them. And what was funny about it is they everything was pirated, and the cover, like what do you call it, the insert, right? They did their best to come up with what the words were of the lyrics.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
but they didn't know what it was.
They
yeah.
weren't even close.
Yeah.
For a lot of these songs, I grew up thinking those were the lyrics, and then I would either hear it differently or
So yesterday was like tomorrow.
right. I mean, yeah. I mean, so he's got pictures of what it kind of looks like. I mean, and that's basically the way it was. You
Well, that's what I went to record stores like that here in the States.
yeah.
I mean, they weren't
it
bootlegs
was
or
all
counterfeit,
pirated.
but I used to go in and you'd go in and I'd face a wall right there and I'd buy the latest Wasp cassette,
Yeah. Yeah. There you go.
you know?
I thought some of the most fantastic things to be able to achieve, trying to
Meatloaf.
acquire some of these tracks, were to record on the radio because you get a boom box, right?
Oh,
And
yeah.
the boom box, you pop the cassette tape in there. It's got to record. So when
You-
you're playing the tuner and you're playing the song,
Oh,
and
yeah.
you got Casey Kasem with the top 40 countdown.
You try
Oh,
to
yeah.
get it just right to where you don't get the DJ and you're just like, ah!
Yeah, and he's in there, number 2. Yeah, and you start the record, you start right away, and it's like, tonight. God damn it. Why'd you say that extra word, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, we would because we didn't get any TV or radio living in Indonesia during the summers. We would be in the States and we would record. We would buy a whole sleeve of blank tapes.
I thought you said you watched a lot of cartoons over there.
Hanna-Barbera.
Not overseas.
Jabberjaw?
Oh.
No cartoons at all. They're evil. Anyway, but we would record.
Evil.
Yeah, no, it's just very uncomfortable. No, but we would record radio on all these tapes, and then we would just listen to it during the months that we were not in the States.
Yeah.
I mean, that was our closest thing to getting American culture, American radio.
God,
But I
man.
still have all those things.
I look
man.
at that boom box. Well, any of them really, but that's a really nice one. But I remember we had a boom box, and I remember walking down the street with Motley Crue. Shout at the
Did
devil.
you have it on your shoulder?
Yeah, was it Motley Crue? Shout at the devil.
That was Motley Crue,
Dun,
yeah.
dun. Oh my
was
God,
who?
that was the shit.
Oh, yeah.
Shout at the devil with the radio on the shoulder, walking down the street with ripped jeans. And I remember I had this Levi's jean jacket, and my sister's well, she was at the time talented. She would take bleach and she would do artwork on the back of
Make meth.
Levi jackets, and she would draw these little designs. And it was cool as shit.
That is cool.
And I think she did the album to the Joshua Tree with bleach on the back of a jacket. Back then, U2.
With like a
Joshua
She could probably do that
With like
today
a
and make
stencil?
money.
I mean, how would
I don't know how she did. I never asked.
that's really
She
cool.
could probably do that today and sell that shit.
She
You
probably
probably could. Oh, it's all coming back. I'm
Oh,
sure.
that's what I mean. It's
Yeah.
all coming back.
So yeah, you're right. We had the bigger boom boxes that we had on
Yeah.
our shoulders, and then that gave way to the Walkman,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
and that's when it became the handheld.
And that was crazy too, because they had the big Walkman that had the tuner that was with the Walkman, and
Big yellow one.
and sometimes you had the Walkman that was a big ass Walkman, but it didn't have a cassette player. It was just the tuner, and that was still the coolest thing.
I loved my Walkman. That was like it was so badass.
I don't know if I had the Sony version, but there were all kinds of versions of that out
Oh
there.
yeah.
They had. Have you ever had the double decker Walkman where you could fit 2 cassettes on
What?
one?
I've never even heard of that.
Yeah, it's out there.
Really?
Yeah, I remember this kid. I'll say his name because his name is Reeves Hubble.
That's a fake name.
Is it
Is it Reeves Hubble?
Reeves Hubble?
If you're listening, Reeves, call in.
I think it's a fake name.
No, man,
It might
I've.
be.
Why would you pluralize his first name?
What's his name?
So he owned
Sean
Hubble?
is pluralizing it.
What is that in first name? What is it? Is it Reeves or Reeve?
Well, you said Reeves.
Yeah, Reeves.
That's plural.
Reeves. Hubble, as in the Hubble telescope.
Right, so it's like he owns the Hubble.
Well, it's not apostrophe S. It's just Reeves. Hey, Reeves, how you
I
doing?
know, but when you're just talking, hey, that's Reeves Hubble.
Oh, well, that's Reeves'
What-
penis. Reeves Hubble.
Yeah.
Reeves.
So what was Reeves Hubble doing?
Reeves Hubble owned the double-decker Walkman radio.
Oh, okay.
He was like the dickhead because he would have like the Scorpions came out with the double album,
Was it
and
that
so
right
he would
there?
have the Scorpions
I
on
see
both
it.
sides.
I see it. Yeah. I've never seen that before.
Yeah, he was like the first one, and I was like, "You're an asshole. How'd you get that?"
That's-
Yeah.
I mean, that is what.
My parents loved me more.
So 90. So if I remember correctly, one tape was 90 minutes of recording.
Yeah, well, 45 on each side.
45 on each side.
That's
Yeah,
right.
they
That's
made
right.
all kinds. There was 90. There was
60. There's a 30.
There was 60.
Most
one,
of
there
it
was
was
120
60,
too.
right?
Yeah, there's 120 as well.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But how many times were you sitting there with your pencil, rewinding it back up?
Yeah.
Well, making
Tape.
sure it was tight so it didn't get caught
Taut.
Yep.
and get eaten.
Taut. Yes.
Yeah.
And it'd come out and it'd get twisted. How many times did you get twisted and you're just like, I need to untwist it, but you have to find where it got twisted.
Oh, what a mess.
So you're
Yeah.
pulling it all out.
and
trying
you,
to
and,
Have
but
you
you
ever
were,
abandoned-
also like it was like brain surgery
Yeah.
because you were like so careful not to fuck it up.
Oh, yeah.
After that brain surgery, have you ever just given up and just snipped it and then gone in and surgically
Taped it
applied a
back?
piece of tape?
Yes.
Just put a small piece
No.
of tape and mended it.
Yes, I did.
I
I've done
never
that.
did that. I threw the whole damn thing away. How stupid am I?
Yeah.
Very.
Very.
Wow. Easy, guys. This is very hurtful.
Just think of that.
Yeah.
That kind of, yeah. Were you guys ever a member of the Columbia House and that racket?
Yes.
I'll send you 30 cassettes for a penny.
And then CDs.
And then CDs.
Wow.
I did that.
Yeah. And you got, they'd send you a monthly thing.
I saw that, but I
And
never
then-
logged on.
Yeah, and then you had to make sure you responded in time,
Right.
but you never did.
Yep.
So then you get these crappy tapes that you didn't
Yeah.
want,
Yeah,
or
like
CDs.
Engelbert
and they were
Humperdinck or
counting on
something.
that.
Yeah, that's how they made their money. You owe us $38 for this cassette.
I
And your
remember.
parents would be like, "You what?
I remember.
You told me it was going to be a penny."
I remember sitting down and doing all the math.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, because remember, you had to buy a certain number of them after the initial deal,
Right.
to fulfill your obligation. So
And
I remember writing it all down on paper. I was like, okay, I got 10 for a penny, and then I have to do what, and I would calculate it all out, and I'd be like, I'm getting these for $4.99 a CD. This is a freaking killing. Of course, I'm getting all these extra CDs that I forgot to.
Right. Send back.
Yes.
And they usually sent a card, didn't they?
Yes, and you had to. Yeah,
And
you
it said
literally.
you will get this CD within 10 days if you do not return this card.
And I just could never do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it takes a stamp and all that good stuff. And it never happened. But I think there were some people. I had some friends who did this, who just scammed the shit out of Columbia House.
How would they do that?
They would give them like, I don't know, their
Fake names and stuff.
fake names and addresses, and they'd get like their 30 free CDs, and that'd be it. They'd have it go to their friend's house or something like that,
That's actually fantastic. I mean, that's horrible.
Yeah, that is horrible.
and then they'd send it there. And
yeah, what
shame.
recourse did they have, right?
Yeah, it's-
Of your house.
yeah. So, or if you move a lot, like when you're in college, and you have a different address every single year,
Right.
just time it, and you can get your free 30. Next thing you know, I don't live there anymore. I'm back home or I'm in a new address next year.
God, I really screwed myself by being an honest person.
I don't think.
I really should have been one of those schmucks that like just screws
there's a lot
everybody.
of people who did that. A lot of folks in college I know would just have these impeccable music collections. It's like, how the hell did you get all this? Oh, you do it this way.
It's horrible.
It's like, well, shit. But
yeah.
I don't
Well,
think.
in all fairness, those CDs were expensive, and there's no reason for them
were.
to be.
I mean,
That
they
was
were $12.99, right? Weren't they like?
Well,
12?
that's expensive for what it cost to make them.
No. It was.
Yeah, they pressed the shit out of those. Remember when they first came out CDs? They were in the big
Yes.
letterbox boxes.
Yeah. What was your very first CD ever?
It was Freedom Rock.
Oh, like a compilation?
Remember the TV? Yeah, remember the '60s hippie music?
Oh, it was a compilation of.
It was Freedom Rock. It was two.
Freedom Rock.
Yeah, look.
If you call now, we're throwing. I don't
Yeah.
have the radio voice. You have the radio voice.
Yeah, there it is, right there, Freedom Rock.
Oh, that is funny.
And how I got that is I think someone did the Columbia House, and the apartment that I was living in college, it got mailed to there, and it was Columbia House.
And that was your first
And that was my
CD ever.
I didn't even have a CD player yet.
Right.
And I got it, and I was looking. I was like, I didn't know much of the music. It's a lot of '60s music. Ended up getting a CD player based off of that. I was like, well, I want to listen to it.
Oh, of course.
You know, this is the new
Well,
wave.
I remember, when I was living in New Jersey, and this was right before I moved to El Paso, and I want to say it was 83 to 85, 84, 84, 5, whatever. My dad comes home with a CD player, and my first one was the Pink Floyd, The Final Cut. Remember, I was telling you I was living in New Jersey on Fort Monmouth, and the soldiers would be doing their calisthenics out in the back, and I told you I'd set the
Yes.
speakers up to the Final Cut and play that
And harass the soldiers.
Oh,
Yes.
man.
They wanted $500 for that.
Man,
That
I
was your
tell you,
very
that's
first one.
that's one of my favorite albums. I mean, it's still today. I mean, it's I enjoy it more than God Bless It, the Wall.
Right. I never was a Pink Floyd fan.
Are you able to pull up the tracks that were on that album?
Different wall.
No.
The one that Biden's tearing down.
Is he tearing it down? I thought
No,
he
he's
stopped.
just not. He's just not
He just
finishing it.
stopped.
So okay, let me sidetrack this while Austin looks for the thing. You know, with them stopping production on the wall, you know, Trump has these contracts that are set into place right now, and it's actually costing the United States citizens more money
To not
to
do it.
not finish it
I know.
than to finish it.
I know.
It doesn't make sense.
It's all idealistic stuff. It's just.
Start
stupid.
with the very first track. Is there any way you could play that?
No, can't.
Well, it's only like the first 10 seconds.
The post-war dream.
These are all obscure Pink Floyd songs. Why would anybody want to listen to
I
this?
know.
Man, I tell you, the final. Well,
No.
are you able to hit
Final
play on that?
countdown?
Go hit that sample up there.
Yeah, that.
See what happens.
Oh, great. It's playing.
Does it bring back memories?
You know what? It's actually number 8.
Oh,
Here
the
we
first
go.
cut
It was
or
on the
8?
second side.
Yeah, he's gonna flop
the second
around
s-
this whole CD looking for.
There you go.
Oh, that's what you would play
Yeah.
to the soldiers?
Oh
What a little asshole you were.
my God. This song right here, it's Bush. It's
What do you mean,
English.
Bush?
Well, this is a political song right here.
Brezhnev. Yeah.
Begin took Beirut.
Gautier took the
Union Jack.
Oh my God.
And Maggie, over lunch one day, took a cruiser.
Sound like
with
Neil
all
Diamond.
Neil
hands.
Diamond.
That's exactly what
made
I was
him-
gonna say. You sounded
Made
like
him
Neil
give 'em
Diamond.
back.
Neil Diamond singing Pink Floyd.
I am a cry. No, not I.
All right, so you were talking about
First CD ever.
the first CD. I may have interrupted you, but the Final Cut was mine, and I thought it was fantastic. My dad bought it for me, and I can't remember bought anything else after that, but
Yeah.
I listened to that one over and over, and it was the cool. I
Well,
still
because
enjoy
you
it.
know, when we first started with our CD collection, we didn't have very money.
Yeah.
It wasn't like we went out and bought $300 worth of CDs.
No.
I mean,
I know-
my friend got me on. He was the one that told me, you know, you got to do these CDs. They're amazing. Blah 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 blah. And so I went ahead and bought a CD. I was working at a movie theater, and
Yep.
I went and bought my own CD player, and he bought me Scarecrow, John Cougar Mellencamp.
Oh yeah.
Great album.
Yeah.
And that was my first CD, and I like you with Pink Floyd, I played the shit out of it.
Yep. I played the shit out of that Freedom Rock because I had one CD.
Yeah.
Yeah, but your one CD was a compilation.
It was. It had,
So-
actually had a lot of good music on it. A lot of it I didn't know, but I ended up learning it, and it was good stuff.
Yeah.
And-
Any Neil Diamond?
I don't believe so.
No Neil Diamond
I
on
don't
your
believe
Freedom
so.
Rock?
Yeah, and
Freedom Rock was like, 60s, 70s. That probably had some funk on there, or was it like grass?
no funk. It was
No
all
funk.
It was all hippie '60s music.
I wonder what.
there you
Joan
go.
Baez,
Monday.
Put that up. Freedom Rock. What was the playlist on
the
Freedom Rock?
Dum
Birds.
boom boom. Dum boom boom.
There's a song on there called
Hey,
25.
that's Motown.
Well,
No, it didn't have any of that on there.
Yeah, what are you talking
I,
about?
you know what? I'm trying to fill in the blanks here.
Yeah, you
I
are.
almost danced.
What
myself
part
a
of
little jig.
what about My Girl screams Freedom Rock to you?
Yeah.
That's what you were singing.
Yeah, see the Birds. I'd love to change
There
the
you go.
world.
Turn. Locomotive breath by Jethro Tull.
We talked about.
Whoa, good God.
Ugh.
What is?
Was I on cue there?
But that's Edwin Starr. That's not. That's not the
Jump
one.
into the fire.
Black Magic Woman.
One
Yeah,
Tin
this was
Soldier.
all like anti-war stuff.
Exactly right. That's why I said the hippie shit.
Yeah, no, you're right.
You're
You're right. A lot of the stuff I've never heard of. I bet you if you played it, we would recognize it.
Oh,
now.
Horse
I
with no
guarantee
name?
I guarantee you'd recognize probably all
Actually,
of
this is
these.
a good. This is a good one. The Ramblin' Man, with the Allman Brothers, Leonard Skinner, the Guess Who, Elton John, Ocean.
Three
Put
Dog
your
Night. Okay,
Put your hand in the hand. Yes.
I know I've heard that. Just,
it was a
how
two.
does that go?
It was a
Put your-
2-disc deal.
Do this.
Nice.
Yeah, and it was free. Like I said, I think someone did the.
Put your hand in the hand. How does that sound?
Put your hand in the hand. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Oh well, you don't. Well, let's see. You get
play
it to work.
Play it from there.
Is it doing anything?
No, it
I
just
want you to
keeps.
sign in
We got to sign into Amazon Music.
Well,
with the Hitler mustache.
actually, you know what? I do. I probably. I probably need to sign into Amazon Music when we do these shows, so we can play this music, the songs.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I got interesting advertisements within the up there with the military.
The skin
little-
tight shirt.
Yeah, with a dude with the huge pectoral muscles. I mean,
yeah,
God.
that's a bit much.
Yeah, I'm like, thank you, thank you. We're 50, and thank you for that.
And we have
For
moves.
showing us what we'll never
Yeah.
be.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have moves now. Can
Well,
you show us
I'm
what that
actually
looks
pretty
like?
close to that, but yeah, no, I'm not.
Mm.
I'm trying to do push-ups and pull-ups, and that's about all I can do there. I mean,
Well-
it's not getting there.
But it's a good one. If you like the kind of music, it's a good CD. It's a lot of good music on there. I didn't know much about it. Like I said,
Freedom Rock.
I probably never would have bought it, but it showed at my doorstep, and I was like, score.
Yeah,
Interesting.
thank you.
Maybe spend $60 on my Magnavox
name-
CD player.
Whose name was on the
Oh
package?
shit, that was
Reeves.
30 years ago. I have no idea.
Oh, so I mean, what I'm saying, it wasn't yours.
No,
No,
it
was
showed up, and it sat on the counter just in case someone showed up for it. No one ever did, and we opened it, or I did. Ended up getting a CD player.
I remember the first CD player I bought was the single loader, right? Because
Oh, yeah.
that's all that was out there.
Mine was a Magnavox.
And then when the 5 changer came out, I had the carousel
Never
5
had
disc
that.
change. No, 6 carousel 6
8.
changer.
8,
No, 6.
And a half.
12.
And so yeah, you had this, the turning carousel type thing, and then they had the other ones that had the big.
Like a magazine.
Yeah, exactly.
Then you had the 100, which was like a big jukebox.
Yeah.
No, that
I-
was a true carousel.
I thought
Yeah.
that was
standing
like
straight up.
I thought that was like overkill
Well, then you have to remember, okay,
No, I don't
disc
think so.
33. You'd have to have a list to go through.
to remember all.
Well,
Well,
Yeah,
even the
33.
cartridges, you'd have like, all right, which I've got
Like
Pink
6.
Floyd. I've got
6
a
of
Pink
'em,
Floyd
yeah.
cartridge that has 5 albums on this one
Right.
cartridge, and you slap it in there. It was kind of cool.
Yeah.
So little OCD people were going crazy. Then came the Windows came out, the basic Windows 98, and you're able, or maybe 2000, and you're able to load in your audio CD, and Windows will actually go and find the language on there, and you be able to see the artwork,
The artwork.
and the lineup of what songs are on there. and you can
Grace
even
Note. Was that called Grace Note?
I don't know.
Oh.
But I know there was something where you can do a legal backup of that CD.
If you
And-
own it.
Yeah, but how are they going to know you own it? It's yours.
Well,
I'll
that's
bring it over to my house.
That's the challenge. You say if you own the CD, you can make a backup of it.
So
But,
that was it. You pop the CD in, and that's how I got a lot of. That's how I started that whole process. Is I would get my CD, pop it in the CD-ROM, and I'd upload it onto the hard drive. But it was in a WAV format.
Correct.
Yeah, I was
So
thinking.
it was a very huge, enlarged file. So you couldn't, they knew that. So they were like, well, we're going to save this in WAV. The quality is a little bit better because it's a little bit more stretched out. But then once the MP3 came out and they came up with the WAV converters to the MP3, then it was on. Then you just basically do a batch conversion.
But even when it was in WAV format, you could buy the blank disc, and you had a CD read write,
Oh yeah.
and you could burn it. Yeah,
Yeah, those
you
were
could-
sketchy though. Those
They didn't always work.
Those read write. You're like, you had to buy certain discs. So you had write once discs, but then you had read write ones where you could keep
the
recording them.
rewritable ones, RW.
But they weren't all that reliable. You're
No,
saying.
and it was
Yeah.
like if you bought the wrong one, then it wouldn't work. So you had to buy. I just threw away a big old stack of those. I was
Yeah.
cleaning out my
of blank read writables.
blank read. Yeah, I don't even know if you could use those. Do they even make
No.
machines to do that?
I don't know. That's a good question.
God, there was you got to imagine, I owned my own DJ karaoke company. So I was mass producing my stuff. Of course, it was probably shouldn't say that out loud, but I'd buy the originals and I had a couple setups, and I'm not buying, 3 complete setups of my original. So I just
Right.
basically copied it. And then when things started going digital, where you didn't have to have the CD and I could just completely convert it by external hard drives and then go out there. Shit, man, I remember when I started DJing, I would have to carry out albums, record albums, when I had 2 Techniques 1200s out there spinning, and I'd show up and I have to bring like 20 crates of albums in.
Oh wow.
Talk about getting a little workout, and especially when you show up to a function that you don't know what's going on. At least with a wedding or something, you have kind of a stock playlist that you can bring. Oh, this is going to work. This is going to work.
You're talking about vinyl, like
I'm
LP.
talking about vinyl, LP. I
Dude,
mean,
you know what those would be worth now?
shit.
All those
nothing.
crates? They wouldn't?
No.
No,
Not worth
it's
shit.
making a huge comeback.
Not really.
It isn't?
There's
I thought
it's
it
a
was.
niche market.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's not. Hey, look, I'm telling you, I did my due diligence trying to get my money back on those albums, and when I tell you I had thousands,
Wow.
I had a lot, and I tried liquidating them, and it got to the point where I couldn't give them away.
Like, but when? When are you talking about? I'm talking about in the last 5 years.
I'm
It's been
talking
a big,
like 15 years ago.
right. Well, back then it hadn't really made a resurgence. I think.
Shit, 20 years ago. Just now things.
But still, I think vinyl is a niche market.
Yeah, maybe.
it is.
You know,
It is.
there's
I
a
think
lot
it
of
was
people-
closer to 20. But there's some people out there that like it
Oh,
because
yeah.
They do.
vinyl.
I like the vinyl.
They
sound.
swear that
Vinyl-
it sounds better than anything else.
It really does. It really does. I mean, for someone that has that type of ear, vinyl definitely makes a better sound. And then the problem with the way they're selling vinyl, the way they package it up for people to take home, they sell these little tiny little fucking piece of shit record players,
yeah.
and they have these little built-in speakers, and oh, this is the way you play. You put a record on there and you play the fucking thing right there. No, it's fucking retarded. You don't fucking play. You might as well play an AM radio station through that one little single speaker.
Little
I wanted to walk
transistor.
up to that dude that I was playing. I went to his house for my job, and I was, and I walk in there and I start doing my thing, and I walk in this room and he's all bragging. Hey, look over here, I got a record. I'm like, oh my god, really?
So you went to
Really?
Robert De Niro's house? You knew him growing up, or what?
Yeah, I slapped the tapioca out of his mouth.
Wow.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm a little disgruntled with that came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I
Bob De
shouldn't have-
Niro?
I shouldn't.
Bob De Niro is just. Oh
no,
my
I shouldn't have
God.
brought up his name. It just triggers all of us here.
But the thing about it is that nowadays they're selling these cheap ass record players
Right.
to play the vinyl on that does 2 things. It sounds horrible,
Right.
and it destroys your fucking record because they use cheap
Shitty
needles.
Ah.
Get the fuck out of here.
Get the
It's
fuck
gotta-
out of here.
It's got to have the perfect balance where it doesn't gouge the LP.
Right.
I mean, it's a process. I mean, you're reading it,
Right.
and it's all about from the tip of that needle up the arm
Yeah.
into the system, and it comes in hot too. It
Yeah,
comes in hot.
I know this might be a left turn here, but we talk about how stuff works, like knowing how, how does it go from there's some grooves on a freaking piece of plastic with a needle that is, moving up and down or whatever.
That's amazing. I
It
can't
is
wrap my head
amazing.
around it.
I know it. And we actually one night we were like debating this, and we got on Google and it tried to walk us through, and we still couldn't get it.
Right.
You can
Someone
do
invented that.
I know
can
it. It just
take,
doesn't make sense to me.
You could take a cactus needle and a large styrofoam cup, and if you were to take a record album, put it on the turntable and spin it, and put the cactus needle into the track and let it just roll, the reverberation will come through that styrofoam cup.
Yeah, I just don't even understand
It's
it. Really.
amazing. I don't it obviously it's
they're
easy for some
electromagnetic.
people.
That's what there it says right there. Electromagnetic devices that change sound vibrations into electrical signals. It's like, what?
Who figured that out?
I don't know.
Was that
yeah.
Edison?
And you know what's
Well,
crazy?
it started off on those cylinders. They record them on the cylinders. Who did do that? Was it Edison?
I don't know.
What's-
Then you had the old Victrolas, right, where you turn it with the big horn coming out and everything, and the big ass arm would come down with the needle.
Right. What's amazing to me is we're like,
Which you can buy those.
what are we
today.
dealing with? We're talking late 1800s, early 1900s. We're over 100 years, right? We're like well into like 130 years later,
Yeah.
and still the common American has no freaking clue how any of this shit works.
Yeah. Well,
Like how TV signals show up on a picture, how radio works.
I mean, nowadays
How-
it's like Alexa, play the Moody Blues.
Yeah. We have no
Yeah.
concept of how that technology works. And these guys were figuring out this shit and inventing it 140 years ago.
Yeah. My
So-
favorite one is Sean or Alexa, shuffle Sean's 80s. That's
Yeah.
all I say.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jeff.
For what?
I cut you off.
Oh.
Amazing technology.
Well, it is, and I remember back in the day, when you were younger, the joke you always tried to pull over on someone was, how many grooves are in a record?
Okay.
One.
One.
Just one long one.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
People going, well, no, there's got about 10,000 of them.
You know,
One.
Right.
there's
It's one
Right.
long one.
One long one.
I remember watching one of the That's Incredible or
Real people.
Real People.
Real sex.
There was some dude
Real sex.
that
I mean.
Real
could
sex 6.
pick up an album and look at the grooves on an album and tell you what that album was.
Who could do that? Who could do that?
There was this guy that could do it.
An audio file.
He basically, you pick up the record and he could see the grooves on the record.
I think that's got to be some level of autism or something, where you just see that.
He's
Well,
Rain,
I mean,
Rain
I don't
Man.
want to down the guy. He didn't look like he
Well,
did
no,
not
the-
have autism.
Well, no, I'm just saying there's different levels of it where your brain
Yeah,
just works at a different level,
totally.
and I think that's what.
Record.
If you could just look at the grooves and say either that or it's a scam.
That's crazy.
Either
Meet
that
the
or
man who. There we go. So, well, people could always have turned on an American doctor who had the superhuman ability to recognize vinyl records with his naked eye just by looking at the grooves of a vinyl record. Philadelphia resident
Wow.
and physician Arthur B. Linton can identify a phonograph recording in just a matter of seconds, as a much blogger Alan Cross via the highly sensitive and creative blog details.
This guy's clearly in the spectrum.
that's what I mean.
No,
There's something going on.
absolutely.
Tone deaf. Well, I want to see because the guy had he had spectacles on, and I'm not sure if they're magnifying glasses. It's too bad that you got to run through this gauntlet to be able to see the details of this.
I hate websites sometimes.
I
Yeah.
know.
There's so much bullshit. Look at all these ads. This
Yeah.
lady's nostrils are in front of us, and she's
yeah, but
like
she's got hot lips.
8 different times.
Yeah, but it's all about making money, man. You can't just do everything for free on the
Well,
internet.
how is that making money? It's just pissing
Ads.
us off.
Ads?
Well,
we didn't click on it. Arthur B. Linton.
no,
Lint-
yeah, I guess that too. Yeah,
Jen?
yeah, do that.
Lintgen.
Lint
Copy
Jen.
and paste that. You got to look at the guy because he's. I mean, it's remarkable. He was picking out current
That guy right there.
hip hop songs. He was doing well. I mean, there wasn't hip hop back then, but he was like 1812th Overture Tchaikovsky. He was just like shooting shit out of his mouth. I was like, are you kidding me? And they put the record on the turntable, and sure enough, boom. And they were like, all right,
Wow.
you can't see this, can you?
That's what I mean. I mean, is
That's
it a
crazy.
scam or is he? How could you do
All
that?
right,
For
so
one thing, you have to have super eyesight
no,
to be
okay,
able to see the
look,
grooves.
He
I
wore-
can tell.
He wore glasses.
Okay, look, I'm not a genius. I'll tell you, I've played a lot of records with my experience.
So if I
And
find
no.
one random album, you'll be able to tell it.
No, I can't.
Well, that's what he does.
That's what he does, but with specific songs. But what I'm telling you is that I have done my shows and I've looked at albums and I can count the tracks on an album.
That's not looking at the
But
groove
there's
itself.
there are different sounds that a record can make that have a different reflection. And you can see, and I could tell if I wanted an extended cut or not an extended cut. I could see where the chorus line is.
Well, sure. You can see that.
That's what I'm saying, and that's what he's looking for. And he can see, and I'm not talking about the line in there that separates track 1 from track 2. I'm talking about like the main part of the song goes into the chorus.
I don't know.
That's amazing.
I don't know.
All right, so then you move on to CDs, and that is
It's completely different.
it is different.
Yeah,
but
let him
it's-
see it do it with a CD.
But there's no, that's not what I mean. No, but there's grooves in there too. There's grooves in there.
Because it
No,
burns
there's
it.
not.
It
Yeah, there
burns it.
are,
Yeah,
and
there
that's
is.
and it's light.
Shut the front door.
And it's light that makes the CD work, right?
You've never seen, you never held it up, but you could see the difference between the part that has a recording because it
Yeah.
records from the inside out.
Yeah, but I haven't seen lines.
There's lines.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah.
I never looked.
yeah.
I never really thought about it.
Yeah, I used to look at that all the time because when CDs would skip, you'd have to find the scratch, and you're like, "Where's it? Where's it at?" And you turn it over, and you could see where it was burnt into it.
Yep. There you go. See? Lands and pits. Data encoded by using lands and pits.
It's
Freaking
a
crazy,
shame
man.
that the kids nowadays don't have the pleasure of going through this torture. When you have to actually respect the things that you own. Nowadays if they want music, it's just like I said, Alexa, play this. Now back then it was like you have to have the disc. And when you have the disc, you got to take care of it. If you drop it, oh my God. And then they come up with this anti-scratch, or not the anti-scratch, but the scratch fixer where you pop it in this little thing and you spin it, and it's this little, and you apply this crystal jizz all over it, and you just keep spinning it.
Jizz.
Well, hold on. Go back to cassettes. I mean, you're freaking the end of this one side. You're opening the thing up, flipping the thing over, and
then the tape gets stuck.
and then click and play.
Yep.
Or if you want to go listen to that song again because you hate the second side, then you got to fucking put rewind on
Yep.
and wait for the damn thing to go all
Then you had
the way back.
Then you had the cool cassette players that would find the spaces in between and stop automatically. So you just hit forward and it would stop.
Oh, that
But then
was.
you'd have the songs that had it wasn't enough space and it would just blow through it. It would piss you off.
Oh yeah, you get all pissed off and stop it and go back again, and then
Son of a bitch!
and then you'd give up and be fuck it. I'll just wait for that dead space.
Well, what when they do? Start getting DVDs that are coming out. All right, you're starting to build up your DVD collection, and then you start having kids.
Right?
Actually, it didn't happen in that order because I had VHS tapes first. But they're my kids,
Yeah, we had
including the Xbox games. Some of my kids, I'm not
Oh,
mentioning
my
who their names are,
God.
but some of the kids would fucking chew the god busting CDs and the video game discs.
Right.
I'm not saying they're sitting in here being the producer. I'm just saying it happened.
Yeah, we had a huge library
Yeah.
of VHS tapes, all the Disney movies.
Oh yeah.
Then you graduate. I had all the. I remember when X-Files.
I
came
finally threw away all the VHS tapes.
out. Yeah, you can't even sell that shit
No,
anymore.
I threw them all away.
But
Yeah,
then
you talking about X-Files?
X-Files? Yeah, I know. My mother, because we were huge X-File fans. My wife and I, when it was on back in the the late '90s.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And we watched all of
Bully
them.
and
Scully and Mulder.
Scully and Mulder. There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, it was a popular show.
Yeah, so we watched the shit out of that. We got the entire show on VHS, every single season.
Right.
It was like a Christmas gift, For your Christmas gift, you get season 1, and your birthday, you get season 2. Because
Wow, that show it went from 93 to 2018.
no, there was a huge break in between.
Oh, okay.
Huge break, and like 15 years, or I don't know if it was that long, but it was a long break. But
Right.
yeah, these videos, that hack right there.
Oh, that's right. Who's the girl? Scully.
Scully. Yeah.
Scully. She got pregnant and wanted to raise her kids. That's why the break was, right?
No, I don't know.
Oh, I've never heard that.
But it went sideways, just like every show out there does.
Sure.
But we really enjoyed it. And I had that for years and years and years and years, and it sat on the shelf. Never watched them.
Yeah.
You never
Well,
go back
it's-
and watch them.
No.
It's difficult. I mean, it's a different. This is because we're lazy. Well, okay. Set aside the fact that you may not have been interested in it. If you were interested in it, then there's another step involved. Because if you got a VHS tape, all right, here's what I got to do. I'm going to watch it. Then I got to rewind it. What? It's like fucking emptying the garbage. I got to rewind it.
Well,
Oh,
each cassette had like 3 episodes on it. So you're like, well,
that's nice binge watching.
I want this episode. So you're fast forwarding it through 2 episodes, and you're trying to figure out when to stop it. All right, so you're like, shit, I went too far. I didn't go far enough, and whatnot.
The other crazy thing about VHS was when you would pop in the tape, and then there'll be all these freaking static lines
Oh yeah.
all over the TV, and you had to press the tracker.
Oh yeah, you had to move the tracker up and down.
Yeah, the
That was
tracker
weird.
button,
Yep.
and that would to get
Move
it to
the
go away.
heads. You'd move the heads on the.
Okay, I always wondered what the hell is the tracker doing to make it.
You're moving it's either the tape on the heads or the heads. It's probably the tape, so it's moving correctly over the tape heads or the.
So it was like misaligned or something.
Correct.
yeah,
That's
all
exactly what it was.
Okay, I never knew that.
Yep.
There's so many, but that's the thing, man. When you grew up with all these crazy technologies and what would be considered like so archaic or medieval
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
compared
Looking
to
at the TV right there, the producers pulled up the guts of a VHS player. I know
amazing.
we have all looked at this, right? You have got to have taken apart.
Oh, I have.
I mean,
yeah.
I've had to take out a peanut butter jam sandwiches out of mine all the
Yeah.
time, and some of the
You would think it's
crackers
a-
and all kinds of shit.
You would think it's a freaking atomic bomb with how intricate and all these freaking million little pieces
little
and shit.
gadgets, and it's
Amazing.
to eject one of those cartridges.
Yeah.
Is all the stuff it's got to do. Pins drop down. It's got to have the little flap down, and then everything's got to work in sequence.
Well, the cassette
Right.
itself has a little door
yeah.
that protects the tape.
Yeah.
That would come up. Yeah, and if you wanted to
So
see it, you
many
could little button
things.
on the side that you could lift it up. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
the
I remember-
engineers involved in that.
I remember one of my kids stuck a penny, shoved a penny into the CD player in the car, and it quit working. And so I pulled the thing out of there, started taking out all the little tiny screws and shit,
Yep.
and then it got intimidating really quickly, right? Because you're trying to remember, okay, that little piece goes on top of that little piece. I mean, it was like a freaking
A Rector set.
It was, and they were tiny little pieces, and I could see the penny. I could see it in there, but I was trying to figure out how to get to it. And then I'm also thinking static electricity. I'm touching shit I shouldn't be touching. My fingerprints, all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I finally got to it, put the whole damn thing back together, and I'll be damned if it worked.
Really.
Yeah, it was amazing.
It's IT
He
for
had,
you.
he had 3 screws left over though.
You always. There's always something left
It
over.
rattled a little bit.
Yeah, and you're
Yeah.
hoping it just didn't affect it.
Every time the laser got into a certain point in the outer layer, it just turned off automatically.
No,
So
it
you only
doesn't-
got to watch 2/3 of a movie.
No, it
Right.
just doesn't play tracks 8 through 10 ever.
There you go.
You can never finish it.
Right.
Damn it. Those are the best songs too.
Right. That's great. Yeah,
I mean, I don't have as much experience as Jeff does, but a lot of my friends had like porn on the VHS tape.
oh yeah.
Experience me.
Why don't you enlighten us?
I didn't have any porn on tape.
Well, I mean, you didn't
Didn't?
personally own any, but
Well, I've
you
seen
seem to have all the
some,
stories where you
yeah.
were sitting
Talking
with
about,
all
like-
your friends.
Are you talking about home
watching
videos
porn.
with your 3 female roommates? What are we talking about? here?
No.
Oh,
No,
no,
This is
no. I remember
Oh, okay. Sorry.
the parental unit
there it is.
decided he got some videotapes from some friends at work, of course, and I don't know if he ever watched
parental
them.
unit. So you stumbled on it?
Yeah, well, he told us. I got these, and then was kind of forgotten about. He got this lock box. It was like the Walmart of the '80s lock box. This thing was so cheap, and I
His dad had the J.C. Penney's take it home VHS camera system, and I guess he would do some home videos as well.
no home videos.
Oh God! Why?
But-
Why? Don't make a horrific story out of this.
Yeah, I know.
Broke
No.
into the safe, played it, and said, "Hey, Jeff, go out there and play this one." And then all the guys are like, "Oh my God, look, that's Mrs. Brown." I'm like,
Oh,
No.
whatever.
"What is she doing
No, but I figured out
How
how to.
scarring would that
with
be?
my mom?"
I figured out how to pick the lock.
Of
on
course.
this thing.
Yeah,
and,
that started a long career for you
and of course, when a career
of
really.
lock picking.
Lock picking. No, I don't. I don't know how I did it, but I figured out if I used this and this, I could pick the lock. And of course, At that point, you're what 14 or 15. You're like, guys, you got to come over and see this.
You hosted porn parties.
Yes, and after school, before the parents came home, we'd all be huddled around the TV, the little 19-inch color TV, watching what was the first one called? Taboo.
I've seen
American Taboo.
No,
No,
it's just
just
called
Taboo.
Taboo.
I've
Is
And-
this a
seen it.
porn?
yes.
Oh yeah, I've seen it.
And it's about a mother and a son.
All right. Well, we can
Which is
gloss over
taboo.
this.
I've
So-
seen it.
Yep.
So
So
stepmother, though, right?
No,
no,
real mother.
That's not taboo.
Yeah, it's taboo.
that's gross.
No, I'm
I mean, they work.
that may be the name of the movie, but that's not the definition of taboo.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
What's wrong with that?
That's not taboo.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
You meant the title. Yes, I know what you're
Yes.
saying.
So obviously, in real life, they weren't. These two were porn stars and stuff like that. But that was one, and I can't remember the rest. But we'd have viewing sessions.
Oh yeah.
For real quick before the parents came home. Of course, you have to rewind it to the exact same
God,
spot.
here's the thing.
Yeah, because your dad would be like,
based on my experience,
Kids always figure out a way.
they do.
I mean, what do you? I don't. What's the end game here?
what do
You're
you mean?
15. There's
What do you
no end
mean?
game.
It's to look at naked people
Yeah, but
bumping uglies.
I mean, you're gonna walk away from the house just kind of like, I feel dirty. Why are my pants wet?
Well, you know what? So I remember. God, what was I in fifth grade, sixth grade? So I lived in Indonesia, and I had this Dutch friend, right? And I went over to
Was
his
she
house.
hot?
No,
Oh,
it was a guy.
oh,
boobed.
And
Got
I went
big boobs.
and I went over to his house. He invited me over to his house, and his parents were weird,
Shit.
right?
Was he
and
wearing
they
a
were-
thong?
They were.
those Dutch guys like.
They
those
had this weird
bikinis.
house.
Thongs.
They had this weird house that the
It is
entire
firm,
house
too.
was
Firm.
encompassed a pool. There was a pool in the middle of the house.
Really?
Yes, very strange.
Was
Was
there
it like swimming laps?
And it was open. It was open air,
so it's like a
but the house was
courtyard.
built around. Yes,
Is there a rhino?
no rhinos, but they were skinny dipping.
Architeuthis.
His parents, his Dutch parents, were skinny dipping in the pool, and I
with
was
the
like,
goldfish.
I don't need to see this. Like this is that
Oh,
was
they were skinny dipping.
yes.
Well, you checked her out, right? You didn't
No,
look at his-
gross. They were both like tall and super skinny, and it was nasty.
Oh.
But anyway, so this friend,
Does she have like pancake boobs? That were kinda-
you know what? I don't remember.
skin flaps.
I think they were. Oh my god. Anyway, so he
was it cold?
So he had access to. I guess his parents watched all sorts of porn, and it wasn't locked up or anything.
Oh,
Oh.
gosh.
I mean, I guess the Dutch are very
So
liberal.
was
or-
Indonesian
You know,
porn.
Hey, look.
No,
in,
no, no, it
In
was-
defense to what you're saying,
no,
Paul,
it was European porn.
The European culture is well,
It's like huge bush.
Asian. The culture outside of the United States, excluding North America, I'd say mostly the European Eurasia area.
Very
They have
open-minded.
they I'm telling you, when I lived in Germany
Everyone was
in the
nude.
80s, they would have the commercials on TV. They would have like Zest body soap commercials, and you would see boobies. There'd be boobies. I remember, because we had the Armed Forces Network. The Armed Forces Network. You could
And
watch
little,
TV.
Little Sean learned
And-
that's what a boner
yeah.
is.
I would watch
The
like
Book of Boners.
they had the channel where the Armed Forces Network was on, and then my
It's a
mom was like, "All right,
bungle.
we'll turn the TV off since it's the English speaking was off," and I was like, "I don't want to turn it off. I just want to watch some." So I would sit there and watch German television. And I had no idea what was going on. I found out, but I was kind of like, because I remember there was a commercial. This lady was coming out of the shower, and someone was handing her something, and so she dropped her robe, and she goes, "Oh!" And I was just like, I couldn't believe what I saw. I was like, "What the hell?" It's just all
Yeah.
kinds of fireworks were bursting in
Yeah,
my
Europe-
brain.
Europe has a different mindset, man. At least they did back then. But man, these Dutch parents, I mean, yeah, he didn't have to search for them or anything. He just opened up the little cupboard there and pulled out some videos. And I was like, what the
But they
hell?
like watch it as a family.
Yeah.
What the hell is this? Yeah, it was.
Is it once you invite your friend Paul over, to see if he'd come out to the courtyard and talk to me for a little bit?
No.
They're not Colombian.
Hey, Paul,
They
would
were
you
Dutch.
like our vodka? Why don't you
Yeah.
bring your friend Paul out to the courtyard so we can have some vodka?
Yeah.
Vodka.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So
They
the
were
guy, when the
Dutch.
guy was asking you to come out to the courtyard to sit with him, he was naked and he said he was kind of skinny and flat. So it was his chimichanga
No,
hanging out?
the kid wasn't. My friend wasn't. His parents were skinny dipping.
Well, that's what I'm
Well, I
saying.
know, but would they walk around with like
Well, I was
junk
like,
out
hey,
and everything?
Yeah, I mean they just were kind of swimming, and then they got out and they toweled off and wrapped themselves in the towel and came in the house. I mean, but the entire pool area was surrounded by rooms and big glass. I mean, you could see everything, and I was like, what the hell is
it's kind
going
of a
on
weird
here?
setup.
Yeah, it's kind of strange.
But
Yeah, it
I mean, but it was exposed to the elements, and was it like a hot tub or was it a pool?
No, it was a pool. It was a square pool completely surrounded, all four sides with
Well,
rooms.
if like in my situation where there's no one else in the house, that'd be ideal. You could go out there and go nude. But if your kids and your kids' friends
that's
are
kinda
over,
weird.
and it wasn't like, oh, I'm sorry, like covering themselves up. They were like, oh, hello, how are you? And yeah,
Jeff
whoops.
was popping his nipples.
ah,
What?
I don't know.
No.
Well, the-
No, that was the slapping sound.
That's a slap? What the fuck are you playing?
Hollow.
That is not the slap we're talking about, Paul.
Paul.
Oh, sorry.
That's
That
different.
sound like you're.
Oh, that is different, isn't it?
Yes.
Jesus, this
Anyway.
just got derailed real quick.
Yeah, it sure did. We went from VHF to porn.
Well, you were the one out in the
Well, that was-
courtyard playing with naked people,
No, I was not.
drinking vodka
No, Sean was like,
with Vladimir.
Jeff has porn stories. Go.
Right. And Jeff's like, I picked my dad's safe and watched porn with my neighborhood friends.
And he's like, oh, that sparked a whole
Sure did.
genre of crap.
Right.
Well, we probably, I think we kind of abused the technology topic anyway.
Yeah,
We did.
80s shit.
But it was good. It was good stuff.
Yeah, I'm glad it's over. That's for sure. But again,
All the technology
the
challenges.
kids now have no idea the torture that we had to go through.
Well, it makes you think when they have kids, what's going to be around.
Oh God, nothing. I mean,
But here's the thing: even movies, like everything, is streamed now.
Yeah.
Everything. Do you remember when Netflix first started?
It was CDs.
Yes,
Or
that they-
DVDs.
Yeah, that they mailed to your house,
Yeah.
and then you could swap them out as many times as you want.
Yep. $10 a month or whatever it was, and you could
started off as Blockbuster.
Yeah.
Well, Netflix
Blockbuster-
didn't, but
No,
Blo-
they were competitors.
Blockbuster was.
competitors,
Yeah.
that's what put them out of business.
It
Those
is.
guys.
Well, Blockbuster was. Hold on. So Blockbuster was just rental. Netflix was the one mailing it to your house,
Correct.
and
And they
then
were strictly-
Blockbuster picked up the
Well,
habit.
they tried to, but they were too late to the
They were
game.
trying to compete with Netflix because they get their asses handed to them
Yeah, they were just too late.
Yeah.
because nobody was going to the stores anymore.
Yeah, we were going, and I'd order Blockbusters, and they were just continuous ordering movies. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Pay 'em X amount of dollars a month and order as many movies as you want.
Yeah.
And you drop them off at the Blockbuster, and that's it.
Yeah, I was doing the same thing.
That's crazy. That system that they had, it's just
And
what
then
a
they
nightmare.
had. You remember Family Video? It
Oh, yeah.
closed.
all across the street.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it closed a long time ago. I mean, I was amazed they stayed open as long as they did, considering Blockbuster
Yeah,
was already gone.
they just closed. They're closing other stores now.
Right.
I know ours closed. 4 or 5 years ago.
Right.
But
But thanks to my kids, I kept them in business with all the freaking penalties.
Yeah, but you could rent everything for $1.
yeah.
Well, when you
It's like
when
every
you,
rental was
when
like
you're late,
$1.
that costs double.
Well, that's what
quadruples.
they're hoping for. Losers like you just hold on to their seats.
Oh yeah, I know. I'd
forever.
walk in there, and I'd rent a movie. They're like, "Oh, that's $25." I was like,
Damn it!
"What?
Son of a bitch.
Oh yeah, you rented whatever. You know,
You rented VeggieTales Volume 8.
yeah,
I'm like, no,
3
I
months ago and
didn't.
never returned
Really?
it. You're just like, what?
That will be $120 to replace that VHS tape.
Brutal. Yeah, we played the crap out of VeggieTales. That
well,
good
it was
stuff.
that was the thing to do was go to the video store. I mean,
It was an event. It was a family event. All right, let's
Yeah.
go. Let's get in the car. We're going to Blockbuster.
And we're picking
hell
3 movies.
yeah. And then the kids have to get, oh my God, candy, the fucking everything, popcorn.
But what was
Yeah.
cool? What
I was a
cool,
hard ass. I never let him do that.
But what was cool about those video stores is that you could pick up old classic movies and stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
and now if you go to Amazon Prime or you go to Netflix, you're at the mercy on whether or not it's there.
Yeah,
Like, or you got to rent it.
yeah, you got to pay
Or-
for it. Yeah,
I mean, yeah, I mean, and it's like Amazon Prime doesn't have the greatest selection, right? And
No.
then the other movies are like $6.99, $5.99, $4.99.
Well,
I mean,
it's
it's
an
nothing like
investment.
$1 like it was
It's
when
an
we were.
investment, but you just gotta look. You can rent movies on Prime and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so
but they're not cheap.
they're $3.99.
Are they?
$5.99. I mean, it's a one-time use. You could see. Actually, you can watch it as many times as you want within 24 hours.
once.
I was going to say,
I
who
want to watch
watched
the movie 6 times to get my money's worth.
Dad, I don't want to watch this
Yeah,
anymore.
but that's just it. I mean,
Why?
a lot of times people only watch the movie once.
Oh,
Of
yeah.
course. That's what
So,
most
I
people do,
mean,
right?
I mean, I just buy them. I mean, because I just do. I mean, I don't watch a whole lot of movies. What I'm saying is that the ones I'm like on Netflix. I watch all those. I stream them, but I don't buy all the movies. Like just recently, I've been buying like all the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit.
I have
you know?
never bought a movie on a streaming service.
I've never either.
Not once.
Never will.
Never will.
Why?
Why? Why do it?
Because it's always you own it. You always have it.
Well, I have the CD downstairs. I always have that.
Well,
DVD.
mine's more accessible.
DVD. I don't know.
I guess.
I mean, I could watch it on any device.
I just never made that transition.
So what if one day you get rid of your Amazon account? You're like, I'm done with Amazon.
Well,
You're
you
a
know,
slave to Amazon forever.
well, choices.
Yeah.
It's all about the quality of life.
And
So,
then they
you
shut
know.
down Parler and take away free speech, and you're still there watching your movies.
Oh, they're showing us Brokeback Mountain every week. They replace all your movies
I'll
with
tell
that
you,
That's
I
the
have
only
thought
thing
about
you can
this,
watch.
and I'll tell you the one thing that I've got that most people don't
until you bend.
is
You're a
I have
Republican.
I have an
Until you
incredible
bend.
library of music that's digitized. I've got 8 terabytes of music. That
Well, I thought that's from your DJ company.
okay, but I own it.
Well, okay, yeah.
It's perfect quality.
What do you do with it, though?
It just sits on a hard drive.
That's what I mean. You never listen to it?
Well, my point is that you're saying I'm a slave to Amazon. Well, I don't have to.
Well,
I
you
go-
can't download that.
What are you talking about?
If you have bought 177 movies from Amazon Prime or whatever, Amazon,
Okay, you're talking about from the video perspective. I'm
Movies,
talking
yeah,
about
yeah,
the
yeah.
music perspective.
okay.
So I mean, if I didn't want to go to Amazon Music, I still have all the fucking music. All I
that's
have
good.
to do
Oh,
is load
right.
it up to.
Right.
I could put my hard drive on a network.
Yeah.
And I can access that network and stream from my house.
yeah, no, that's
you
good.
So-
should. You should set up a cloud.
Yeah,
I
that,
should.
that we can all stream from.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
I mean, because I own a ton. I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of funny and silly, but really, that's where it's coming to.
But why would we? I mean, I have Amazon Prime. I can stream whatever song.
Yeah, for like a nickel.
No, I mean it's you can play whatever you want for the price that you pay per month.
I am getting kind
I
of
pay
sick of it.
$7.99 a month for Amazon Music.
I'm getting sick of getting nickel and dimed.
Yeah, that's the part I was just
I
going to say.
know it all adds up.
It's I only have I've got Prime, excuse me, Netflix and Prime, Amazon Music. And I don't want to. This like Hulu. I don't have Hulu, but
don't have Hulu.
I just I don't want to buy anymore. And I know some of
know.
my kids have other things
Disney
that I'm paying
Plus,
for.
and then this,
Yeah,
and then
that's it.
that.
I'll tell you what. After they fired Gina Carrera,
Did you cancel?
I'm on the cusp of canceling.
I hope you
Disney.
do. I hope you do. Fuck Disney.
And
I'm so pissed.
there's a huge conflict right now between the Mandalorian team and the Star Wars team right now.
Yep. John
And George-
Favreau.
Yeah, and
What's
and
going on
Kathleen
there?
Kennedy.
yeah.
What's going on?
I mean, it's the left versus the right, basically. I mean, you've got Bill Burr that's got his television show or his podcast. And he's making announcements, or he's saying, "I can't even fucking say anything because I'm afraid I'm going to be canceled."
I read about that. Yeah.
And it's just like, and he's absolutely right. It's bullshit. I
It
mean,
is.
the thing is, it'd be different if she was out there on the streets making these horrible things and saying these horrible. But all she did was retweet something, which I didn't even know. I thought originally she had said something bad.
It wasn't even bad. She was simply making an analogy between.
But it's
Right.
just not fair because
Crap.
it's like
Total
one
crap.
side can do whatever they want. Like we were talking about, the other guy from Mandalorian was saying some pretty awful shit about Trump and just some really ugly things and comparisons that were totally unethical. And she turns around and does that, and they fire her. It's just bullshit. If
I
they're going
know.
to fire her for something that they didn't want to continue the show, then just do it. But that's not the case. They're going to replace her.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then there's something else with the Oshaka Jedi. I think that maybe she had said some stuff too. It's just
Who?
Oshaka, the Jedi. Is that her name? Oshuka?
Oh, the one with the long
With the shit
Tubes or
grown out of
whatever?
her. Yeah.
Ahsoka.
Ahsoka, yeah.
Ahsoka. Oh, she said something too. She's getting canned.
Well, I mean, she's on the shit list too, and there's there's just look, man, it's just
It's gotta
it's getting
stop.
out of hand,
It's
man.
got to stop.
It's just like, come on, when is it going to stop? I mean, you got to let people do their stuff.
Well,
And
yeah. Well, you heard that the CPAC was in Hyatt, so there was a big push to boycott Hyatt.
Yeah.
How
And,
dare?
and Hyatt came out with a great response.
What'd they say?
Oh, they just said, we don't pick sides. We provide great service to,
Right.
we
To
provide
anybody, yeah.
a safe place to stay, and that's our business. I mean, and how do you argue with that, right? I
Right.
mean, it was a great response.
Right.
They didn't back down. They didn't apologize. They didn't say that they would never host a CPAC thing again. You know what I mean? They didn't.
Well, did you see that the CPAC is giving them grief because of the stage design?
Yeah, I heard something about it.
They're giving CPAC's giving the Hyatt.
Yes, because they designed and erected the stage.
What's wrong with the stage? I
They
thought it was-
modified it because there were complaints about it having some symbolism,
Well, it's the
which
same.
was a stretch.
Oh, it looked like a swastika.
No, it looked. I don't know what the signal, the sign was, but it looked. It's a symbol that you would see on the SS lapels.
Oh, come on!
That-
Enough.
That right there. You see how it's
Where?
kind of, that right there, where it's kind of the diamond with those two things off the top. That's the same symbol that you find on the SS lapels. So do
What's an SS lapel?
It's a Nazi.
Well, that's what I was saying. That I like a I don't know. Oh, you're talking about like on the side of the
on
tanks.
their collar.
Oh,
On their-
that's just they're fucking reaching. God,
Yeah.
those are geometric shapes.
Everything is reaching.
Yeah. So it's but that's
Look up
that's
Nazi lapel,
Nazi SS and CPAC
and there's no periods. Yeah, you just do. Oh, come on!
Oh God, that's not
really.
it.
Well, they're showing swastikas and then
and
the
put-
Blitzkrieg
put
symbols.
Put CPAC up there as well.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that they're just fucking reaching. They're reaching for everything, and I don't get it. You know, it's like it's
No,
a country divided is going to fall.
CPAC.
They're just. I believe that there are forces that we don't know about or do know about. I don't know. They want us to fail. They want us arguing with each other. They want us at
do.
each other's throat.
It's
They
all
want civil war.
it's all about divisiveness.
So it's just, it's
I'm not
just
seeing it.
ugly. And what is it going to take?
It just needs to stop.
Term
really
limits is
does.
the only way that.
There
There
it
it
is right
is.
there.
There it is. I saw it.
There
Oh,
it is.
come on.
Yeah.
The history of the 7SS Mountain Division, Prince Eugen.
So it was a obscure lapel.
Yeah, it's very obscure.
Yep. But-
Prince Eugen.
But that's the CPAC that was arguing it. That wasn't some lib. That was the CPAC that was complaining. I think. I don't know. I could be wrong.
I hope that's not the case.
I don't know. But it's they could find, just like Sean finds penises in Disney pictures.
Well, he's looking hard for it though.
Yeah.
He's really reaching.
Yeah. Yeah. The cancel culture is reaching. It's a fervor right now, and I hope that we're at the end of it.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I don't know. I don't know if we are.
Well, what's interesting is even people on the left are being cancel cultured. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
frenzy where it's not just one people or one view or whatever. It's everybody. And as soon as that people start to realize that, they're going to go, you know what? No, enough.
Well, who does it? Who are the instigators of this? Is it one specific group, or is it just?
I mean, it's just
There's a
it's-
group over here who gets offended because
I think there's
of
just
this.
a bunch.
It's
There's
stupid
just
ass
a
people on
bunch.
Twitter, man. Stupid ass people
It's-
that post stuff.
It's a
think
matter of what can they get away with, and they're people that don't care. They're either wealthy and
So are
don't have
you
to depend on
suggesting that
anybody.
I
they're
don't think they're wealthy.
Are you suggesting that they're trolls? Like they don't really get offended? They don't really care?
They don't- they're
They want to
just
see
trolls.
what they can.
Yeah, let's just rile shit up. Come on, guys, let's see what we can fuck with. It's like this. It's like some dude walking through Buc-ee's without a mask on, looking
Right.
at people like, "Hey, fucking."
So
talk
it's like
to me.
it's like a bet. Let's see if we can get Hyatt to do this, or let's see
Yeah.
if we can get Subway to apologize for
yes,
that
I think
sandwich.
that's exactly what that is.
That's fucking bullshit.
That's
man.
what I think it is.
Uh,
Let's just see
Great.
how far we can stretch this.
hate it.
Hey, do you think Nancy Pelosi will ever be in the Playboy centerfold?
I don't think so. I keep looking.
Uh,
I keep looking. She's just not there.
I mean, she's got big boobs, but no, I don't see that happening.
I think she's past her prime on that kind of stuff.
Well, you never know. I mean, because it's like
Well, she's
I agree with you 1,000%. She's past her prime.
yeah.
But
She's
there
108,
are
right?
some times where
103.
some
she's
girls
103. Okay.
will do a photo shoot with Playboy, and it'll remain quiet, and no one will
Until-
know about it. It's in the archives.
Until they get elected, like AO.
Go on.
Well, I don't know if she posed, but
No, I'm just kind of I mean, she was pretty.
Who?
Pelosi.
oh my God, please, we can't even have this conversation.
Really?
I
was
think
she?
so.
I look at her and I see the devil.
I don't see anything pretty about her.
No.
Yeah.
She is honestly an evil person,
looks
and
mean.
she
She
claims to
is.
be a devout Catholic. My ass, evil person.
Yeah. Well, I think she was attractive when she was younger.
I don't.
Really?
Anyway,
Come
moving on.
No, you're just not doing it. Who does she look like? She looks like somebody. Nancy Pelosi. Yeah, you know what? Forget about it. I'm done. All I was correlating was that or trying to connect the dots. You know how Playboy has done that in the past, where they do these photo shoots with these people, and then all of a sudden they'll spring it out 5-10 years later.
Of
Oh,
course.
look at this one.
Like Madonna.
That stuff.
Yeah, stuff like that.
That
you know?
stuff's forever.
Yeah.
Just like the internet. You post something out there, it's out there forever.
Is that what happened with
Forever.
Madonna? Is that the Playboy had done a photo shoot with her and she pumped the brakes on it, and then all of a sudden it just came out later?
I don't think she-
know.
I don't think she pumped the brakes on it. I think she was just needed the money, like when she was starting out. I mean, she hadn't made it big
Yeah,
or
these
anything.
were early pictures.
Well, that's
Very
what I meant,
early.
but they didn't publish them until later.
Well, because
Until
they
after
were
she became popular.
because
Well,
they
she
were
wasn't a
nothing-
big star then. She's a big star when they posted it.
and they were nothing special.
No, they weren't.
I remember even like I loved Madonna.
He went out and bought 10 copies.
I bought
Wow, 10.
I don't remember, but I
15.
I wasn't impressed. Even loving Madonna and being really excited to see the
Did she
pictures.
have hairy armpits?
Yeah.
What?
Yep. I wasn't.
Yeah.
I wasn't into that either.
Well, I mean, like always?
During the picture she did.
I mean, she's Euro, right?
Is she?
Well, I mean, she was
Well,
Euro
she
in
wants
those.
to be.
She's Euro in those pictures.
Oh,
She
whatever,
was
man.
quite hairy.
Yeah, I always thought she was kind of a shitty person. I don't know why. I always felt I got that feeling she was a shitty person.
I don't
And
know.
then after she was with Sean Penn, I thought he was a shitty person. And he is.
Oh, he is.
But God, I mean, Sean Penn going to Iraq, sitting with Saddam Hussein, I don't speak for everyone. Fuck him, Sean Penn.
Well, he did that with El Chapo as well. He went down there and interviewed him.
I don't know. That guy's a weirdo, man. Whatever.
Jumping
But I
the
was-
shark.
I was really into Madonna. I
Were you?
was.
Like sexually.
I thought she was hot. Yeah. And we're talking what?
I remember all those
We're
outfits.
talking the '80s and the early '90s.
This is junior high.
Like
And
desperately seeking Susan.
all the girls would wear that type of
Mhm.
outfits with the nets, the big hoops,
the brassiere.
the brassiere
Yeah,
kind of
I thought-
look.
I thought she was the shit, man. When I was a freshman in high school, yeah, she was hot.
No, I can't even do it. It's
Yeah.
nothing. All right. Well, our first podcast, dudeslikeus.us, 2 bourbons, 1835, and the horn. What is the saddle? What
Broken
saddle?
saddle.
The
Broken
broken saddle. I like the broken saddle.
I
In
did
fact,
too.
I've taken a few polls. The initial broken saddle was good. I think the latter polls have been even better.
Right.
I've enjoyed it more and more. The more room temperature it's getting, and the more it aerates.
Yeah.
Hey,
All right.
I think we're gonna be taking a break for this next week. I think Paul's going out of town.
I am out of town.
And I'm getting surgery.
That's right.
Ooh, yeah.
So the next podcast we have, you're going to be in a sling.
Yeah, you may not hear
Slang.
much from me. I just may just drool and moan.
Or moan. Wow. That'll be a whole different kind
It should
of podcast.
be interesting. I don't know how much.
Excuse
We'll
me.
see how it goes. I'm gonna get bitch every time I hit my arm on the table or something like that. God,
All right. Well,
you're gonna hear it.
I'm not looking forward to that.
I'm actually looking forward to you getting past this. So anyway, all right, we'll see. We'll catch everybody on the flip side here.
All right,
Dudeslikeus.us, Spotify, and
iTunes.
All right. Good night, everybody.
See ya.